see Globant here, especially when it comes to Gusta, or they're trying a different ways or different strategies so far.
Yes, I wonder if they're gonna have that respect ban of Chip for Fanboy here. They're gonna go ahead and ban out Guinevere. She has been a menace out there in the field. They've been playing her very well, either as a roamer or a jungler. So she was one of my favorites that I used to play as well. She's really great at like a kind of like an assassin role, right? Being able to come out of those bushes and jump in on the team and give that CC to kind of help the team win. They did give that respect ban, the Chip.
Yeah, not just that with the Gwen, but you've also got a lot of different heroes that she can meld well with. Gattacacha, Terizla, anybody who's got a pop-up that you wouldn't normally think about being as deadly, but it allows the Guinevere to come in there and get that Violet Requiem, which can really be debilitating for a lot of teams. Phoveus has moved up in the weeks, I want to say in the last few weeks, very quickly to the very, I want to say S-tier banning for Phoveus. And it's one of those things that I kind of put next to the Zushin pickup, is that you need to have a plan for this if you're going to allow it out on some of those picks there. You talked about the respect coming out from the side of 9Z. They're going to keep Chip off of there. I do like what he provides when it comes to control over the map, and it really shortens and hinders your ability to traverse the map, especially in that early game when you got the singular rotations coming out from mages or marksmen or even XP laners, or even dives coming into your own jungle. Chip can just really hinder that ability by having the entire team jump on you once he gets that ultimate. So a lot of respect coming out of there, but here Zushin left open for Infinity.
I would like as I was listening to Private saying, talking, and I was like analyzing, okay, so which are they gonna ban here, like a back Sierra that could be or Zushin, for example. I didn't expect that 9Z would let a Zushin open here for the first choice for Infinity, and now responding with Eve and Claude. Okay, Claude here could make sense for Gusta, which we know that he's a solid gold laner, which refers to like, okay, play, farm, getting items to causing this damage on the mid to the late game. But now once again we're seeing Infinity keeping the personality. Now Fanboy keeping and bringing here a Minotaur. By the time that we were not allowed to use the Chip, for example, because it was banned, but now Infinity comes with a Leomord in the jungle and Minotaur here as a roaming for a Fanboy.
Yes, they felt that Chip was more of a threat than Zushin, but I feel that Fanboy has so many different roams under his belt, they really shouldn't have targeted that. Now they have a Zushin to kind of answer with here. He went ahead and picked up the the Minnow. They went ahead and picked up the Fredrin as well for their jungler on the side of 9Z here.
One of the weaknesses or hurdles that I saw from Infinity where they took the loss is I felt like the roam picks. What I've really liked about Infinity is it's not just a Minotaur or the Belleric or a Chip or a Kufra. It's compositions that really fit around some of these picks out there. And I didn't see that the last time they played. It felt more desperate, more random with some of the picks that they were taking up. Like I think the Belleric was out there too, and I was kind of like, where does the Belleric fit into this composition? Is it going to really be able to hold? Here, I do like the Minotaur because you've got the healing that you can bring out to help Leomord kind of stay that tanky and amount of damage that he can dish out there. Not only that, but you've also got the peeling potential if they try to dive onto the back line for Zushin with the Minoan Fury there. And you can also use the Minoan Fury a little bit more offensive to try to offset a lot of the retributions or the Appraiser's Wrath that are going to come out of Fredrin when you're battling some of these objectives. So I do like this pick here, and I do like when the roam picks kind of really meld into the rest of the composition for Infinity.
Your team is banned.
Yeah, it makes total sense here, especially when it comes to bringing this Minotaur when you have Zushin in that composition, because if we see here, it's gonna be very hard for 9Z to put in the back line here, for example. Okay, Gusta with the Blazing Duet can try to do something, but still, Zunshin has this ultimate that she can like get this reposition. She can be able to survive in those scene fights. So it's not going to be very interesting for 9Z. At the same time, we're seeing like, okay, Infinity has nothing to do about that. So for me, Minotaur here is like, okay, Fanboy has not that responsibility on his shoulders to, okay, I have to get initiation, I have to be the hard engaged one, because I can protect, I can be the pill here for not only for Zunshin, but a possible goal laner here, possibly a carry, for example, that makes like makes a 9Z Globant more like pressure on his shoulders to bring tanky heroes, for example. But now Alice, I was wondering like if a 9Z was gonna choose this Alice, because with the blood, the foggy one here, so Shino is one of the other players who would be able to get in this back line, but it's not that easy for 9Z Globant to jump and pop up, especially on Zunshin. And don't tell me now, because we got Irritel here that can shot by moving. Another gold lane here, like I'm not sure if it is the first time that we're seeing Irritel here in AMER South, but it's a very different one. So once again, Xena and Private, Infinity is keeping their personality, bringing something out of the box here to surprise the opponents.
Yes, for sure. They are bringing something out of the box. Irithel, is it the first time we've seen her out there? I'm not even
probably have to check the stats to see.
Yeah,
I know.
We cannot remember.
I know for Irithel, a lot of people tend to favor her when it's like you have to apply some of those Demon Hunter stacks on. So when it comes to some of the heavier Alice, Fredrins out there, she's going to be one of those ones that once you get to those 3 items, especially with Demon Hunter, you'll be able to shred them down. Katakacha being another one. So it's going to be very interesting. This is a very tanky composition coming out of 9Z Globant, and I want to say a very old school initiate and try to damage out your opponent's composition coming out from the side of Infinity.
Yeah, so now here to finish the composition of Burrow Crazy, bringing this Gato Chacha here on that composition. So we are about to go to the first game here. So if you are on the chat, you are the main star of the show. Please send the like, call your friends, share this broadcast here to whole community on MLBB. Say hello to Deadpool, hello to GM Hunter, hello to Zatchbell. I like this anime. And Cartoon Light. I think this is Cartoon, right? Dress Ray also. Hello to Private Dancer. I heard this guy is very nice one. Ooh. GM. I said hello to GM Hunter before. So everybody, let's go, because now we are going to start just right away. Okay, now thank you, production. Welcome to the Land of Dawn. This is the first game. Infinity Sports versus a 9Z Globant. It's a now or never. It's the lower bracket game here, Private.
Yeah, now or never is exactly the words that came to my mind for both of these teams, as you have run out of chances here against each other. This is where you're going to have to leave it all on the line. Pretty interesting note, too, for both of these teams. Throughout the entire Swiss stage, these guys have never faced each other. So this is going to be an inaugural match for both of these teams. Neither who probably have really had a lot of experience when it comes to dealing with the other's play style. I'm very interested to see too how Rusi's going to perform, especially with the initial turtle out there. As Rusi, like, I feel like he's got to get a great engagement tool to be able to kind of sit in the bush, or not in the bush, into the turtle pit, or even be able to zone out the rest of 9Z Globant if they are the second ones getting to the turtle pit. So it's going to be all about how these guys lay out that type of priority for each other.
Yeah, so you're seeing here the emblem stats so far. Fredrin and Ivy here on the 9Z Globant's side, bringing up the Imperial Rage, Quantum Charge here for Claude. Yeah, it's a very interesting one, because he's going to need some mobility when it comes to stack this auto attacks, especially here. But now we're seeing Gusta versus Zapblock so far. On the XP lane here is going to be very interesting, because on one side you have Chino with Alice, who can get in the back line, for example, more easily. And the other side you have Thamos, who can do this front line and get this sustain on the team fight here, more benefit to Infinity. But now the first turtle here immediately started by 9Z Globant private. Ooh.
Yeah, and on the back end, you can see Chino and Alburo Crazy trying to zone out ZZ, keep him away from this turtle, so they're not even gonna, oh, actually, Lionel coming in here is gonna try to put on some pressure, but it's just not enough. 9Z Globant get that first turtle without much of a peep coming out from Infinity. A great job from 9Z to be able to zone out Lionel.
Yeah, it was a great job here, like zoning the players, especially on XP lane here. So Rusi was not able to do much on to his team here to fight back this first turtle. So yeah, first turtle here easily guaranteed by 9Z Globant. Not a big deal on goal lead, for example. Yeah, it's just even. The game is even up here. No kills. The goal lead. Only the first turtle went to 9Z Globant so far. Both teams here very caution here, private, before taking the actions.
Yeah, really interesting too. I mean, what we saw yesterday when it came to like a Zushin pickup to try to offend it, we saw that Lapu was picked up to kind of dive into the back line with that Bravest Fighter form, and Lapu would basically solo. He would latch on to Zushin and he wouldn't let go while the rest of the team was fighting in the back lines to really kind of create that separation. They weren't able to like really get Zushin down, but they were able to create that separation so that Zushin wasn't part of the fights. Zushin was struggling to try to get in there because you always had somebody diving in on her. And I'm wondering if that's kind of the same plan we're kind of looking for here, is to kind of get somebody, especially Chino, to dive into that back line, latch on to Zushin, so that it's not going to be a factor during a lot of these fights.
Yeah, and you also saw the serious thing here when we saw Infinity banning Khalid, for example, to the roaming to avoid another hero with the potential to like get in the back line here to neutralize a Zoom Sheen on that situation. But once again, we are dealing with the global bans here, so at least this first game here, Infinity is going to take the opportunity and going to take this chance to win with the Zoom Sheen. They have to, because a very strong mid lane here with a high pressure. But now on the river, let's go, private. Oh,
yeah, you see Alburo Crazy does get lifted up with that Lantern Flare, backed up a bit, still trying to pour on. The damage is Lionel from the side. Gusta Lagusta joins the fight early. Zablochin here too, 10% left on there. We do have a glorious pathway laid down. Luisinho able to pick up the Lord. Rusi in trouble, looking for the disengage. Infinity trying to get out of harm's way, even though they lost a second turtle. So an engagement there between both teams. Turtle goes over to 9Z Globant, but Infinity still able to create that distance. They don't lose a little bit more than that.
That is the lower bracket situation here, private. No one wants to take the first step like this. Too risky first step here to make a mistake on this first game. So I believe that both teams are still believing in that alt KO, because we have you have Claude, for example, on a 9Z Globant side, which has a very strong late game, but on the other side we have Iritel, which has also a very strong late game with the Zoom Sheen and even Rusi with the Thamus. So I think that both teams here, like, okay, first of all, we're not taking too many risks here, like not to take any false step, but now the Crazy can be lost.
Ooh, yeah, he's gonna have to use that Avatar of the Guardian to get out of harm's way. He kind of lingered out there a little bit too far. Ooh, actually, Chino takes a decent amount of damage. Lucino's gonna have to come in for a little bit of backup there as Rusi's able to burst him down there. But you're absolutely right. Both of these teams being very careful-footed with how they approach some of these games. I feel like, especially at the playoffs right now, I mean, I feel like you need to have that understanding for your characters where their power spikes are before you start going in here. Ooh, we do have 2v2 here. Gusta going to use that BMI to get out of harm's way. Alburo Crazy gets pushed back. He does not have that Avatar of the Guardian anymore, as he just used that earlier. So that is going to cost him as he goes down to the damage of ZZ. Zablach going to be able to take down the tower. Now Lionel being chased down out of position. In comes Rusi from the flank to put on the damage. We do have a Throne of Rune coming out from Chino as well. Is that going to be enough? Rusi able to find the damage onto Chino. 9Z Globant now looking for the disengagement as Gusta Lagusta has to use that Blazing Duet defensively to help aid in their escape.
Yeah, so as we were talking about like who's gonna take the first action here, who's gonna take the first step. Now we saw Infinity here trying to not only to focus on the tower on the bottom lane, but to like taking these feet on the accelerator here. So now getting 2 kills and the third turtle on the game, the first one for Infinity. And once again here we saw Chino was trying to get in the back line here with Alice, or trying to flank to get a Zunshin, for example. But in that situation, Infinity's composition brings so many comfort zone for Zunshin, because you have a fanboy, you have a ZZ here who can activate the Phantom Steed and the ultimate from Minotaur. So it's not, once again, it's not that easy to a 9Z to try to get this flank or this back line here to neutralize not only Zunshin, because okay, you take down Zunshin, alright, so you still have Irithel, we still have Rusin with Thanos, so now Berserker Fury on Zablock's hand.
Yeah, you're absolutely right too. I do feel like that though on 9Z Globant, as we start moving into the mid, into the late game, as the CC and these defensive items start coming online, you're gonna have a lot more tankier ability to get to that back line and combo in with the going in with the Throne of Ruin, or perhaps with the Avatar of the Guardian as well. You can see Rusi topping the damage charts right now. Just below him would be Feshin and Chino there as well, but it just right now Infinity has a firm control on this game, about a 3k gold lead for them, and 2 kills on their side with 2 towers. So actually making pretty, I want to say fairly good use of these 2 kills. Still have 2 objectives there. Luisino does go in with a little bit of damage there. Gonna have to use that BMI to get out of harm's way. On the back end, Luisino looking, gonna maybe look for the Appraiser's Wrath. He gets toasted before he can click onto that. Oh, Gusta Lagusta with the blazing duet, trying to wear down his opponent's Infinity, down to about 50%. Zabloch and Fanboy looking for the disengage now. 3-0 for Infinity.
Yes, Private, I'm quite sure here, like, everybody on 9Z, like, okay, Aburo Crazy. Yeah, this is a touch out here, like, for stealing the lore, it's gonna be a very, very, like, outplay and outstanding performance here coming up from Aburo Crazy. But I believe here, Private, I think that of the players on a 9Z, like, I think that they made an agreement, like, okay, guys, we are not, we're not allowed to, not allowed, but we are not taking too many risks here on this game, so we have to wait. Like Gusta Lagusta gets stronger, Feshin gets stronger with this Ivy, because we saw yesterday what he's capable of with this a mage on the mid lane here. So for me, like we're seeing, I think that a 9Z is waiting for like the right time. They read and they know not Infinity's composition and Infinity's strength so far here. So oops, here comes.
Yeah, we do have a Phantom Steed coming out there, mostly to zone away 9Z from that mid lane tier 1 tower, and it is successful as they're going to go ahead and scoop that one up. Lord up at top, and you can see them trying to look for possibly another zoning coming out here. They're doing a great job using that Phantom Steed as kind of a zoning tool for the rest of the team, but I actually happen to agree with you when it comes to, I feel like 9Z, like, this isn't like a normal playstyle. They're being patient. They're waiting for these power spikes to come out before they actually go all in with a huge fight here. Unfortunately, Infinity might be pretty well past the point, as we have Burrow Crazy goes down as well, and a big pop-up lands on the 2 members of 9Z Globant. Out comes the real world manipulation. Rusi able to find a kill as well onto Chino. Gusta Lagusa gonna have to back up as the rest of Infinity not taking no for an answer, very quickly making mincemeat of that high ground tower at top, looking to do the same at mid. Can Gusta Lagusta be able to defend off this mid-high ground push? And yeah, I mean, they're looking for an opportunity. They're waiting for those power spikes. Unfortunately, Infinity might be too far gone by the time these power spikes come online.
Yeah, I just reminded one day I was in a job interview, and the boss was asking me if I was ready to be a captain, and I said I don't know, and he said to me, okay, when you feel ready, the opportunity might pass away, you know. So for me here is like, okay, 9Z Globant is still waiting for, like, they were waiting for when their carry gets stronger, like Chino, Gusta La Gusta with Claude, for example, we're seeing the items here. So the Trinity, no, not even the Trinity core here for Claude. We're just still waiting for the next one. I believe it's going to be a corrosion site. I don't remember now, but it might be. But the Golden Staff and the Timber Hunter already in Claude's hands. But the fact here, Private, is when a 9Z Globant decides to do something on this game here, it might be too late because they already lost the high ground tower on the top side, for example. We're seeing the goal lead here, like almost 10k for Infinity, 6 kills. Dude, I don't know if 9Z is going to be able to get back in this game.
Yeah, and that's kind of the unfortunate thing is because like as this game goes kind of starting and continuing on through the mid game, I'm kind of like, all right, I don't feel like this is like a typical 9Z Globant game. Usually they're a little bit more pressurized, usually a little bit more forward with their offense here. So maybe we're kind of waiting for some of those power spikes to come on. But you're at a point, Gusta La Gusta doesn't even have his third item. Fashion, I don't think had his third item as well. And you're about a 10k gold lead or a 10k gold deficit right now with only 2 high ground towers left. You're running out of room. But I mean, 9Z Globant, they were the ones that were able to come back against Alpha 7 as well in the last minutes. So I mean, I won't count them out just yet. But here, I mean, the difference is insurmountable and beginning to stack up against them. Chino gets pulled back on the backside. Oh, Mano and Fury catches 2 members of the side of 9Z Globant. Now you have a Lord flashing away at the core, bursted down by the side of 9Z Globant while Infinity's still looking for an opportunity to find some damage to go in. We have a Phantom Steed as well. Luisino gets dragged back by the side of Infinity, and 9Z Globant trying to defend unsuccessfully the final high ground tower that goes down, and Minions might be able to take this base. And Infinity with a very early and very dominant first game victory.
Yeah, full dominance here coming up from Infinity Esports, 1-0 to them, Zena.
Yes, that was full domination. 9Z prioritized turtles at first, but Infinity was able to negate that gold game by going to that bottom lane and just taking out 2 people and that tower. And at the end of it, they started to get objectives, fully dominated the map, and just 1 to 2 Lord pushes, and it was over. 9Z didn't even get any kills in that match.
Man, and this was like a super, for me, uncharacteristic of 9Z Globant with how weird the start felt for them. You had a lot of tools to be able to get to that back line. You had the Alice, you had Gatakacha. There was so many things that you could use and I don't even remember if I saw an Avatar of the Guardian except that defensive one that he used to run away from the team. And it didn't feel like we were all on the same page. And I guess that kind of runs down to how good of a start that Infinity had. And by the time 9Z Globant realized what was happening, you're already 6k gold behind, and there's not too many fights that you're going to win. So you're kind of hoping for those power spikes to hit Gusta La Gusta. But by that time, I mean, 13 game, basically a 14-minute game here. By that point, you're already 10k behind. So I just feel like a very overwhelming victory here for Infinity.
Yeah, so Infinity got a full dominance on the first game here, and to be honest, we know that 9Z some situations they do like to wait for the right time here, but this game was like was unusual. Even for 9Z here to wait this performance, to wait for the right moment. For example, as Private said, they had some tools here to get to do something. For example, with Gatochacha or Chino. At least I think that in the first team fight here, they tried to do something special with Chino here. But I think that Infinity was so aware, with so much knowledge here that with a 9Z Globant was capable of to do against them. So I think that they were ready to deal with that kind of situation. So the Avatar of the Guardian here, so as Private said, the only thing that I saw, the ones that I saw was to escape from Infinity's engage. And here once again, I was like wondering when Infinity was like taking down the last high ground tower on the bottom lane. I was about to say something like, okay, we saw that movie yesterday versus Alpha 7, you know, but it was so fast. Like Infinity just took the right, like took the turbo here, went forward, went aggressive here to guarantee the first victory. It didn't give time to 9Z to do something in this first game.
Yeah, I mean, there was a very little time for them to even be able to turn this around. By the time they realized how far back that they were, how much gold deficit they were at, it was already too late. You weren't even able to get farmed up. And not even very much of a high killing game for either side either.
Yes, and a performance that shifted momentum and shaped the outcome. We have Rusi, our MVP of the match, 204 KDA, 53.3k total damage, 684 gold per minute. He was an unstoppable force.
Yeah, so the MVP here, the first of the day, comes to Rusi with this Thanos 204. It was a very like good XP laner here, like this function, especially because we were talking about like, okay, Chino was taking the responsibility to get somehow using like to reach the back line or the flank here to neutralize especially the carry ones from Infinity, and Rusi had to, okay, I just have to be one of the front lines here. I just have to be this protection, has to be just this sustainability situation here from Infinity. So he performed so well using this Thanos here, like who was not able to die. Only one kill for 9Z Globant in this first game. So Rusi played very well on this first game here using Thanos.